Well, good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Brigadier John Fenwick. This evening is Brigadier Fenwick's last duty in uniform after nearly 33 years of service to our nation. We all thank you, sir, for your service. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. Australia's Federation Guard is a tri-service ceremonial unit of the Australian Defence Force. They provide a ceremonial presence at civil and military events and during visits to Australia by foreign dignitaries. The Guard will now dismount the catapult party from the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Catapult party, attention! Catapult party, present, arms.
Australians all let us
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Walter Shadrack Williams. Walter Williams was born in 1883 in Richmond, Victoria, to Frederick and Mary Williams. He attended South Melbourne State School, and after he left school, his mother moved to Sydney. Walter and several of his brothers, however, moved to Kalgoorlie in Western Australia. Walter worked as a steward at the Hannans Club, where he became known for his skills at billiards and at football. In September 1915, Private Williams volunteered for service in the Australian Imperial Force. He trained at Black Boy Hill Army Camp before embarking at Fremantle on board the transport ship Border in January of 1916. Arriving in Egypt, he joined his unit, the 28th Australian Infantry Battalion, and continued his training. In mid-March 1916, the battalion sailed from Alexandria to Marseille. From there, the men were taken by train to northern France. In April, the 28th Battalion moved to an area outside the French city of Armentières, an area known as the Nursery Sector, because it was comparatively quieter than the Somme sector. Australian battalions were rotated through in order to learn the tactics of trench warfare. In early May, Walter Williams and the men of the 28th Battalion spent nearly 2 weeks in frontline trenches. Despite its name, the nursery sector was still a very active battlefield. German artillery intermittently shelled the Australian trenches with high explosive, shrapnel and gas shells. There was also an ever-present danger of snipers. The battalion's war diary notes that on one day alone, 250 German shells landed on the unit's trenches. The unit had returned to billets behind the lines when Private Williams was selected to be part of a working party in the trenches. His duties may have included repair work on the trenches, carrying supplies forward, and evacuating wounded soldiers back to casualty clearing areas. On the 21st of May, 1916, he and the work party were marching towards the front when they were bombed by a German aeroplane. Private Williams was killed instantly. Along with the two other men from the battalion, Private Frank Nick Keels and Sergeant George Piper. 6 other men were wounded. Walter Williams was 34 years old. Walter Williams was buried in the Erkingham-Lee Churchyard extension near Armentières. His mother chose the inscription for his headstone. Ever remembered, sadly missed. 2 of Williams' brothers also enlisted in the AIF. His older brother, Private Frederick Williams, joined the 28th Battalion before serving with the Australian Veterinary Hospital in France. He returned to Australia in 1919. Walter's younger brother, Private Samuel Williams, joined the 51st Battalion before serving with the 2nd Machine Gun Battalion. He was badly wounded in August of 1918, but survived and returned to Australia in 1919. Private Walter Shadrack Williams is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of sacrifice and service told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Walter Shadrack Williams, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Catapult party, shoulders up.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Catapult party, present, up. quick, arch.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes this evening's last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.